Hey ladies, I just wanted to talk to you for a few minutes about something that I think is super important when it comes to running your own business, and that is recruiting. And I know that this is something that people are like scared of, and it sounds intimidating. I totally get that, but and depending on your goals, if you want to actually grow business and replace your income, or if you have big goals in this business, you can't just be selling product and making commission off that. You can do that, but where the real income comes is from building your team and having them be successful and just duplicating that process over and over. So I just wanted to talk to you about a couple points that I found helped me in the last few years since I've been working in direct sales. And I'm definitely not a pro recruiter or anything by any means, but I think I've learned a few things, and that can definitely maybe help you guys with your business as well. So the first thing that I wanted to say was, when you're talking to people, you really want to make sure you find out what their goals are. And I know we all have our own personal goals, but that doesn't mean that that's the same goal as the person that you're speaking to will have in, for their business when they start. So, for example, your goal might just be to, make enough money in the business to pay for your child's sports, or maybe you want to go to Disneyland or something with your family, or maybe you want bigger goals than that even, and maybe you want to replace a full-time job. And all these things are totally doable, you guys. They're all realistic if you're putting in the work and being consistent. So, you need to find out what their goals are, because you don't want to be pushing them and trying to motivate them to achieve something, to achieve a bigger income goal that they're not really interested in. So don't just assume that they're on the same page as you with what your goals are. And another thing that I wanted to say was, if you are talking to them, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. When you're speaking to them, don't overwhelm them with information. I've done this before, and they can pretty much just put up a wall and be like, I don't even want to hear anything else because I'm so overwhelmed right now that I just kind of am shutting off. So that can really kind of backfire if you're sharing too much. Like, don't go into talking about personal volume and group sales volume and the commission structure necessarily into too much depth, because that kind of stuff can just like be overwhelming. So just keep it simple and kind of let them lead the conversation. Don't do all the talking. It should be you getting to know them and what their goals, like I said, what their goals are. Another thing that you're going to find when you're talking to people is they're going to have objections and questions about the business. And one way that you can kind of talk to them about that is, what I found useful is saying, I understand what you're saying, and I felt the same way, but what I found was, and then you can go into kind of giving them a solution or what you found worked for you. I'm just trying to think of an example. If they say they don't have very much time or something to put into the business, then you can kind of say you felt the same way and you were kind of worried about that too, because you're busy. We're not all moms, but a lot of us are moms, and even if you're not a mom, you're busy. Everybody's busy. Some people have full-time jobs still. So, just relate to what you found and how you worked that into your business and worked around that objection that they have. So addressing those kind of things is important to do with them too. And talk about that. Like, ask them, what are your feelings? Do you have any hesitations about this? Just be direct and be genuine with them. Another thing that is important, one thing that I didn't mention about finding out their goals is, don't assume, just because, for example, say, they want to say you're making like $500 a month, for example. Don't assume that that's just peanuts for somebody else. Like, that might be the difference between, paying, like I said, paying their kids' sports or not, or half a mortgage payment or whatever that it would be to them. $500 to them is a huge deal, and maybe it might not be a big deal to you, but those kind of things can be huge to somebody else in their life. I was going to say, sorry, Kate just started crying and I totally lost track of what I was saying. But ask them and say, how much money, would you need to make a month to make this worth it for you to do? We all assume that people wouldn't really want to do it unless they could make like $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 a month. Well, there's people that only want to make $300 a month extra, and that can be a big deal to them. So I'm just saying, don't brush off a small amount of money, what it can mean to someone else. So my next point that I wanted to talk about was when you're recruiting, you need to be consistent, you guys. Consistency is just something in any business or even in your life in general that is so important. Even in, saving money, you need to be consistent. You can't just save money for a little while and then just like spend it all and fly off the handle with your savings. Losing weight, adapting anything into your life, you need to be consistent with it to see results. And the little things you do every day are the things that will add up in the long run to make big changes in your business or in your life. So if you talk to people about the business 1 week or 1 day, and then you take time off and don't talk to people for like 2 weeks, you're not going to see the growth in your business that you want to see. So you need to be consistently talking to people and make that something on your business to-do list that you do every day. Like I mentioned in a video that I made the other day for you guys, in terms of follow-ups, go through your Facebook friends list and just reach out to people in the list of friends that you have and go through that, or your customer files that you have on your computer saved or wherever you have your customer files saved. Go through that and make sure you're not missing anybody, because maybe that can be a big deal to somebody, the business opportunity. Basically anyone that you think could benefit from maybe a little extra money, or maybe they want to stay at home with their kids when they're done their mat leaves, or just anything. People that love makeup, people that, you see them posting about going to Sephora all the time and they're addicted to, skincare or makeup or whatever. Message them about it. What's it going to do, you guys? It's not going to hurt anybody for you to be like, hey girl, this is maybe something that you'd love. I know you love makeup and you're just like me, and, you love new products and stuff. Why don't you check this out? And when you're talking to them about their goals, back to that again, sorry, but when you're discussing the business opportunity, you want to kind of steer your discussion in terms of what their goals are. So if they want to be making more of an income, steer it in, talk about the compensation plan more. If they want more time with their family or whatever, and they want to scale back shifts at work, then maybe talk about all the freedom that you found from having this business and just being able to, it being so flexible for you. Just talk about their goals and what, steer your conversation that way. Don't start talking about something that has nothing to do with what their goals are and what might draw them to the business in the first place. Being consistent and stepping out of your comfort zone is super important. I mean, you guys, recruiting is, I get it, it's intimidating. It's kind of scary. When I first started like in direct sales, like almost 4 years ago, I was scared, totally. I'm more of an introvert. I just didn't want to put myself out there. But what I realized is that I have to do that because my goals are bigger than my fear of what someone's going to think about me, right? I'm scared. I get nervous to do things like that still today. I get nervous to make videos and go live in our groups and stuff. But if I don't do those kind of things, those actions that move my business ahead, where am I going to stay? I'm just going to be stagnant in one place in my business and never growing, right? Which is like, what's the point of that? So you really need to just like step on your comfort zone and step over it and just start to really do things that scare you. And you know what? When you do that, all of a sudden you'll be like, hey, I can do this, and like this feels really good to do things that I'm scared of doing. And yeah, you're gonna fumble, and you're gonna maybe you won't sound as good as you were hoping that you'd sound or something, but the more you do it, the better you'll get at talking to people about it. The post that I made the other day on our team page, when I was talking about the power of 5, I shared that post that I came across. And it's, you talk to 5 people. Those 5 people will talk to 5 people, and you'll keep going, and you'll just get a snowball effect, and it'll just blow up. And like I said, the income and the growth for you will come when you start to build your team. So don't stop. If you hit maiden, don't stop at just 3 people, because you can't rely on those 3 people to build your empire of your business. So you need to just be constantly talking to people, because those 3 people, they might decide that they don't want to do this in like 6 months or a year. So what are you going to do then? You can't rely on that. So you have to just constantly be reaching out and sharing. I'm just really passionate about that, because I know the difference that this can make in people's lives. And like, you guys, I don't want you to set small goals for yourself either, because and that's why I share things with you, like, being close to earning the trip to Costa Rica in January next year, and the car lease and things like that. My small successes or big successes, I want to share that with you guys, so you can see that anybody can do this. It's not like I didn't do anything special. I'm no better than you at anything. It's just that I'm doing those behaviors consistently, and maybe more on a more larger scale possibly than other people are, but there's nothing different or better about me than there is about anybody else. So anybody can do this if you just put your head down and do some work and be consistent. Nothing is going to just jump and fall on your plate. So you really need to work. It's like any job, you guys. You need to put the work into it, and you will get rewarded back in your business. The last thing I wanted to say was, when you're signing people up and recruiting onto your team, even one person that you guys sign up makes you guys a leader. So it's your responsibility to lead that person in the right direction. So, add them to the team page and direct them to the Getting Started Right document, whether or not they want to build a business with this. Even if they're just wanting the discount, they need to know how to order properly and how to kind of navigate the back office. So all those things can benefit them. And just so you know, when I signed up, I just wanted to be a discount member. So same with Beachbody, and look what happened with that. So, people will tell you what their goals are, and like I said, they might set them small because they're scared. And maybe some of you do that too. I know that's what I did when I first signed up for both businesses. I almost didn't think I could do it, or I didn't want to fail. So I set my goals really low, just being a discount member, and just kind of worked a little bit at it at a time. And then finally I'm like, okay, screw this. I'm going to put all of myself into this, give it my all, and see where this goes. So don't underestimate yourself, and don't set small goals, because you guys can accomplish so much more than you actually think you can. So so just lead them the right way and do what you can to set them on the right foot in their own business. So I think that was pretty much it. I just wanted to just say those few things, and I think I pretty much touched on most of the points that I had. So I hope that helps you guys a bit in your recruiting to your teams, and thanks for watching.